Hey Botched lovers, it is season 4, episode 8, and we are talking sticky nipples and paparazzi. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Strike a pose.
We are the crowd. We're coming out. Got my flash on, it's true.
All right, everybody, we are talking sticky nipples and paparazzi, so make sure you grab the duct tape because we're not using it to close anything or close a box. We're using it to lift your breasts. I can't even believe today's episode, but before we get into that, I want to introduce my beautiful co-hosts, starting with Stacey to my left.
Hi everyone, I'm Stacey Olivias, and you can follow me at Twitter and Instagram at Stacey Olivias, and I'm so excited to be back and here today. Oh my goodness, this episode was insane. I'm excited to talk about it, discuss it, recap it.
Well, we're glad to have you back. And then next we have Juliet to her left.
Hey everybody. Yeah, really excited for the episode. So much to talk about. You can follow me on Instagram at Bonjour Juliet.
And I'm Anissa Barr. You can find me at Anissa Barr with 3 R's. It's pretty exciting. We're finally at episode 8.
I know, isn't that insane?
How
8
so
episodes.
fast? Yeah.
Crazy season.
So much fun.
So we've had tons of boob jobs, tons of nose jobs, and of course I am your host, Lina Noory. You can find me on all social media at Lina Noory. I know it used to be at Lina Noory _, but I finally got my Twitter account back. So like I said, you can find me at Lina Noory all over this social web. So first we're going to talk about Phoebe. Phoebe is a D-list nose, or I think that's probably short for D-list celebrity, or I don't know on what world she is a celebrity, but Phoebe, oh Phoebe. I mean, there's so many different levels on Phoebe, and before I go into my own personal rant of Phoebe, ladies, tell me what you thought.
Who is Phoebe Price? I don't know how she's famous. Like, what did she do? I'm still curious
She's not
about
famous.
that. But she's been around for a long time. I've seen her in a lot of, like, checking out the newsstands on the magazines and stuff. Like, she's been all over. I've seen her on a lot of Who Wore It Best.
Anissa, can you look up IMDb? I'm really curious.
I don't know who she is.
I don't have my phone. But she kind of reminds me of Phoebe from Friends, like long lost, like cousin. Very like from Alabama. I loved her accent though.
Yeah.
She's from Alabama. I loved her accent. Very country, and that's not what you get. That's not a lot of type of people you get here in LA. Very different.
Definitely very different. It was funny. I've never heard of her. So when she was like, I'm followed every day by paparazzi, I'm like, I don't really feel like that's true. You must call them because if you're so accessible, you claim to be so accessible, but I don't really see you anywhere. I don't know how true it is.
You know what's weird though? She says like, I have $75,000 shirts, and I'm just like, look, when they show her wardrobe, I'm just like, which one's $75,000?
Yeah.
So let's actually go over her details. So she's born in Jasper, Alabama. She does 15 to 20 magazines a month. I don't know what magazines or publications those are. I'm very curious. And she says she has at least 3 paparazzi that follow her around day to day. I don't know about you guys, but I don't... What is a paparazzi? Like, what is the definition of paparazzi? Do they work for TMZ? Is it actually a news outlet? Because you could just pay somebody with a camera to follow you around and take photos of you.
Yeah, he's in love with you.
Yeah. I have like a quick story about a paparazzi. So long time ago, when my freshman year in college, I came to LA thinking it'd be fun, and I met this paparazzi who said he got ran over by Britney Spears. His leg got ran over by Britney Spears. Wow. And they ended up becoming very good friends, and he was telling me, he goes, I get phone calls from celebrities like Spencer Pratt. Like, he calls me saying, hey, I'm going to be over here. Do you mind taking photos? Because obviously they're not that relevant anymore. So celebrities do probably call them and say, hey, I'm going to be over here. I'm going to be over here. And it's funny because the paparazzi did a documentary on like ABC. It was like a 2020 special about paparazzi. And they just talked about what they do and everything. And 90% of the time they make sure they get A-list celebrities.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen paparazzi where they're literally following around the Kardashians or Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt. Mm-hmm. We're talking about A-list versus, Spencer Pratt, when he hasn't been on any reality TV shows in like maybe a decade.
Right.
But a lot of the publicists do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
because when I used to work in nightlife, usually the nightclubs are the ones that release press information like, oh, this celebrity's coming out or they're going to be here. But like 3 weeks ago, we had Khloe Kardashian coming out with Tristan.
Oh.
It was for Brandon Jennings' birthday, and they literally come in like a black SUV, and it's a sprinter car, where the car like pulls up so fast, they get out so quickly, and it's like the security guards will secure the entrance into the club. But it's funny though, even though they'll secure the entrance in a sprinter car, they kind of like stroll out casually. But I mean, at least the Kardashians in their case, if it wasn't for the paparazzi and reality TV, they don't, you know.
Ryan Seacrest.
But I'm saying like their talent is being reality TV stars.
Right.
It's not like they're in films or they're featured in anything. So, okay, so back to Phoebe. She spends $500,000
That's insane.
over her entire span of being in Los Angeles on acting lessons and coaches. But yet, she's not been featured in any films, so I have no idea where that $500,000 went on. And as she had said, she has single dresses worth $50,000. I don't believe that. I didn't see one item in her closet. And if it was worth $50,000, that's so obscene. You know what you could do with $50,000?
It was everything looked so cheap, and it was fake glitter and glued onto stuff, and it was just
like
so,
something
so
you can
cheap.
get from Melrose, right?
100%. Well, even when they said that price, they showed an outfit exactly with like little studs.
The
like,
studs
glue
on the
the boobs, like the black corsets that you see everywhere. Yeah, no, it's insane. And with all that, like, please pay someone to go through your stuff, organize your closet. It was insane. It looked like a warehouse. Like, how are you excited in the morning to get up and like go to that room and pick out an outfit? I don't get it.
It looked like a teenage girl room with so many outfits, trying to figure out what should I wear for the day or
It
party.
looked like a hoarder. She looked like a hoarder. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm sorry. If you spent $50,000 on a single dress that, first of all, like I said, looks like you bought it from downtown, it would cost $10,000 to have that entire room turned into like a custom closet. You know, the girls have like those islands with like the marble countertop and like their jewelry's hanging from the ceiling and there's like hangers everywhere. So how does your closet look like that? There's no way there's any truth to that.
So you think it's not true?
No, I don't think there's any truth to what she said.
I was looking on her IMDb, and it says she has been IMDb. Sorry. She said that this says that she has been in some movies and stuff.
What has she been in?
I mean,
I'm curious.
Broken Blood.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of
Is
it.
it a
Victim.
porno?
I know. Mercy for Angels.
Never heard of it.
Some non. Yeah.
Never heard
Most
of it.
of these
Never
aren't.
heard of her. Nope.
Nope.
This is Ronnie here in the booth. Are you guys familiar with how old she is too?
You know what?
And I only say because I'm old as dirt as well.
Oh, stop it.
Not as old as she, but she's born in 1972, and I feel.
Shut up.
Yeah, and I feel, and I
44.
And as far as you guys, I actually have heard of her like years ago, and
okay.
she was of the old crop, right? She was the old crop, the pre-Kardashian, Paris Hilton. She was of that style, and she wanted to be that socialite, but you know, when social media kind of took over. I feel like she got left in the dirt. So that's why we haven't really heard about her. Because she always was that social media star. Before social media. She was
So like
that girl.
MySpace days?
Friendster, baby. Friendster. Going
Friendster.
way back. Yeah.
Listen, she looks, honestly, she looks great for her age. I would have
she's
never
44,
thought.
Yeah.
She looks great, and I'm all about if you want to look beautiful and take care of yourself and dress nicely. But don't say your closet that you have a single dress worth $50,000 when I didn't see a single designer dress on that rack. And even so, who wants to spend $50,000 on a dress?
That's true.
Do you know what you can do with that money, what you can invest in? You can put it down on a house.
A lot of A-list celebrities don't even wear that $50,000 dress.
And if they do,
unless
their
you're Beyonce.
wardrobe stylist is like not renting it, but they're wearing it for an event, and then it's a dress that's worn by multiple people. They're not spending. They're
So can I ask you guys a question? Just because I'm so intrigued by this whole thing. Do you guys do you feel like sad for her? Because if she is of that age and she's still trying to do, like I had stated, I'm the oldest one of all of you, so I have heard of her, that desperation. Do you guys kind of sympathize for that sad moment of like, wow, she's still out there trying to be a social media star or a it girl? Like, do you feel bad for her on any level?
I don't know, because she seems so up in her own world that she seems so happy with her like crazy friend, and she's just living life and just giant tits everywhere and just feels fabulous. So maybe she is deep down unhappy, because I think that yes, I definitely see that there, but she's hiding it well and having a good time at least.
Right. And I also wonder what she does for a living now, even though she's done these are probably independent movies that she's done. That's why you don't really hear of her name as much. But I just wonder what she does now as a living.
listen. I'm all about. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying?
No, I feel kind of bad for her because I feel like she's creating this image to try to stay relevant or somewhere get
But
attention.
who isn't?
I
That's
know.
everybody.
That's the thing. That's everyone's doing that.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I kind of feel bad for her, but at the same time, she seems pretty happy. Like Juliet was saying, she seemed like she was having a grand old time with her friend Frenchie, so she's in a little world.
Listen, I'm all about, like I said, about it doesn't matter your age. If you feel good about yourself and you're enjoying life, her and Frenchie Barbie doll in the pink dress. My thing is that I didn't believe what she said. I didn't believe that 3 paparazzis followed her on a daily basis. And if they were, you wouldn't be talking about it. It would actually be your worst nightmare. Like, you would hate it. And then I just didn't believe that her single item in her closet was $50,000. Unless it was not the item they zoomed in on, because that item did not look like it was even worth more than like $100 or $50 from like a boutique. So that was my only thing with her. And obviously we've noticed on the episodes that every single episode they're bringing in that one person that's not really getting a procedure. Yeah. So she came in wanting to get a nose job. I thought her nose looked great. She said something about someone on social media had told her that one nostril looks bigger than the other and you can see her boogers. So the only thing I will sympathize with her is that she's obviously giving in to like the social media influence and like people bullying you and making mean comments. And it really is sad because I can imagine like as a woman, there's just so much pressure to look a certain way and dress a certain way. So when you go on social media, someone's like, oh, you have like a bump right here and one nostril's bigger. But I thought her nose looked great.
Yeah, I didn't think her nose looked bad at all.
No, not at all.
But she even said it in the thing. She was saying, in my line of work, you always have to look the best. I shaved my face in order to look younger, which was insane. And because there's competition out there. There's younger women and prettier women and social media to show that to the world. So she's anxious about everything, her appearance being the most important one.
Well, she said she shaved her face because men generally look younger than women, and she thinks it's because they shave.
Nah, girl, it's genetics.
I don't think was there any
I've never heard that. I've never heard that before in my life.
Well, I mean, she looks amazing, so I don't know what she's talking about age.
Yeah, I thought she was like at least 35.
Oh, no, I thought she was like in her 60s, to be honest. Because she looks, women that age look so fake.
Juliet's the bearer of bad news.
Okay. I did. I really, no, I thought she was definitely at least middle age. So at least 10 years than she is. But yeah, her friend also is crazy
Frenchie.
Looking. Yeah.
Was she on Rock of Love, Frenchie?
Yes.
Okay, because I remember her from somewhere. I know she was on Botched before, but
she kept on trying to be like, hey, I'm back. But like, it always failed. Like, no one cared. The doctors didn't care. It was kind of like this sub storyline they wanted to put in, but I feel like it didn't really bring anything because the other girl was obviously the main character, and she brought already so much to the plate that we don't really need her best friend. I thought she was a little useless.
It brought nothing, and I swear Dr. Nassif was genuinely annoyed by Phoebe.
Yeah, he looked kind of pissed.
He was like,
when he was like, he stuck that little thing to like open up her nostril, and he just was touching her with the Q-tip. She's like, he's like, stop it. Like,
don't be so dramatic. You're about to get surgery. Like, how are you during the consultation being weird about it? Yeah. I didn't want to deal with her.
I also think he was intentionally saying, like, I'm going to have to cut out your rib. I'm going to have to cut out your ear. He was just saying it to her just so she
left.
Goes away.
Oh my gosh. It's so
well,
sad.
at least he warned her this time.
Yeah.
Because last time he forgot to tell the patient.
Yeah, gosh. And in the background, the other girl's like, hey, do you want to see my boobs again? And it's like, no one cares about
that
you.
part just made me feel like so, like, immature. Like, very immature. Mm-hmm. And I think that these women know, like, their age where they should know what's appropriate and what's not appropriate.
Yeah, but that's like their business. Like, inappropriate, it's like how they, get their thrill. But,
I don't know.
There's a place and time for that.
I don't know about you girls, but I'm just tired of like the empty space people that they have. There's people that genuinely come in that they're gonna go get that procedure, as we've shown like in the first episode. The girl went and literally still had like her boobs done or made them even bigger. So there's people that come in, they have a disease and they're gonna keep going. But then this one was clearly just empty space. It was just filler, and I'm over it. Like,
yeah, I like it though. I think it gives a good arc to the episode because you have that character who's just entertaining, who's just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this, just to spice things up, and then you also have those heartfelt characters that I'm excited to talk about.
All right, so speaking of heartfelt characters, we're going to talk about Kaylin next. She is all ducked up, and we literally mean all ducked up. She brings a whole new definition to what duct tape is used for. So before we get into the actual procedure, we have Kaylin. She has implants that are up at her collarbone. She got her first breast augmentation at 19 years old from a 15-minute doctor. She was in and out, literally throwing up. She said outside of the door and in the car. Let's first talk about your initial thoughts on Kaylin.
15 minutes. He told you 15 minutes. She's like, okay. It's so sad that someone that young and naive could just like let herself make this decision. It's crazy.
I felt so bad. Like, for me, it doesn't even, like, this little tattoo, it doesn't even take 15 minutes to do. So, for 15 minutes to get your boobs done, that literally just sounds ridiculous.
Yeah.
But she's like coming out of the room throwing up. Did they not think something was wrong?
Yeah,
with
and
that?
she had no follow-up, she said, after that. So I think that's really a huge concern,
But
especially
also-
if you're going to a doctor. You need to have a follow-up. Like,
Right. And you
the
know
doctor
what?
needs
She
to
was
check you
she was
after.
19 at the time, and when you're 19,
You're not
fully
thinking about it,
developing your
yeah.
head sometimes. So she probably didn't think about that.
I'm not gonna lie, Kaylin not only gave me a whole new meaning of duct tape, she gave me a whole new meaning of true love. Let's
Oh
talk
my
about
God. Oh my
gosh, true
getting
love.
up in the morning and her husband doing the cross duct tape, and it's like she said there's like a rhyme or reason. It's like cross this way, cross up, and then she has one that goes across.
Yeah.
If that's not true love, I don't know what is.
He just seemed like they just both seemed like such sweethearts. Like
Yeah.
she was just, I felt bad for her because she was saying how there was a quote she said, and she said like she felt like she's been in a prison, not being able to leave the house, or like feeling awkward to leave the house, not being able to wear a bikini. And she said, before I felt like I trapped myself in this prison. Now I feel like I've trapped them, referring to her children. So it's kind of sad because she couldn't really take her kids out, or, you know, take them to the beach or do fun things with them, and she felt like she was trapped in a prison, and now she's trapping her children. So I felt like
that was insane though. It looked like a military.
yeah,
like,
and yet she had to go through all of that every single day.
and she's got different colored duct tape, guys.
I know, she's an expert. She goes, I have this duct tape color for this way when I'm feeling this way. Then I have the clear one when I want to like get it on. I was just like, oh my god, that's crazy.
clear
She
duct
would
tape,
take,
yeah.
she would have like the strongest one. Like, you imagine she puts the duct tape on, then she like feels like she's gonna get it on with her husband. She changes duct tape for it to be like transparent. Like, that's such an insane routine. I've never heard anything like it.
How can you use duct tape every day? Wouldn't that like
Well, she remember how
rip
much she
your
was saying?
skin?
Yeah, she was saying like sometimes I feel like my nipple's still stuck on it. I was just, poor
But
girl.
I think it's like free waxing. Like when you rip off the duct tape, it takes off like any breast hair you have.
Smooth boobs.
Oh man. But I mean, at the same time, I'm very happy for her. I'm glad that she was able to get this procedure, and it turned out the way it turned out, I would have never guessed that she had messed up boobs.
So actually going into the procedure, she basically had inadequately released muscle, so that's why it was pulling up her breasts. She went into the procedure, and it was interesting that Dr. Dubrow once again brings in the husband for his opinion, but this time the husband is not into the doctor's room. He's actually on FaceTime video, which was so weird. At least his fingers weren't on the phone. It was the assistant's fingers. We always talk about this every episode. What do you girls think about the fact that he always asks the husband? Like, wouldn't that be something that you would ask the patient before you go into the actual procedure?
Yeah.
It just seems like it's just a reality TV twist.
Yeah.
I don't see that. Whenever that happens, it's so not genuine. It's strange to me. And I don't know about you guys, but I felt like the decision was kind of easy. I feel like it was I don't know. Do you think, which way would you have gone with?
I think he made the right decision. I think that was a great decision because all the scars that she was going to have after the surgery would have been probably bad. So I wouldn't want to make that decision for anybody.
I think
I'd probably not make a decision.
I definitely would just go with getting the correction, just because she would have had to gone into the procedure once again. There's always the risk, as he says, when you do a lift, that the nipple will die, which is still like, I can't wrap my head around that whole concept. Like, the nipple dies, and he's like, it just kind of like turns black, and I don't know what
just
happens to
falls
it.
out.
Does it like literally disintegrate? Like, I'm curious what that means.
I don't want to Google it.
So yeah, there's
scary.
so many other complications. I would definitely go just the corrective route. I would have thought though that she would have wanted the lift. So I thought it was interesting that he said, well, the husband said, hey, let's just let her
Decide.
decide.
Like, I'm not trying to get in trouble. Like, let her decide. It's like,
But I feel
smart
like
man.
Dr.
Yeah,
Dubrow
very
knew in the back of his head that if he just let her do like what she called the test drive, that she would actually just be so happy from where she came from that she would just be content with it.
I mean, like, look at them. They look amazing. She did such a
So
good.
great, yeah.
Yeah.
I just look at that and the.
They look pretty natural from here too.
Mm-hmm.
Anissa, what would you do?
I would do what she did. I would just let him go. Because what if you did do the first thing and then you just have pain after, and you don't want to go back and be like, I'm having pain. You don't want to keep going and getting scar tissue. You know, scar tissue after scar.
That scene
it's
where he
just-
just like takes like a stapler and he's like,
Yeah.
okay, tell me, what do you think?
I thought that was great.
And
Well,
it's a picture and it's like,
doesn't those two little like staples leave like two little holes? So
yeah. I don't know.
But
how to
they would have been really, really minor, and I think they were testing out the scar. So I think they didn't even cut her at that point, you know. So that's how she would get the scar. It was like a test.
Yeah.
So she probably has like little like dots, but those are gonna go away super, super.
No,
quickly.
I've had that done before, and it was just like to hold it, and then you put stitches in after. It's just to hold it for a little bit.
But it definitely looked like Frankenstein.
Do you guys notice that I mean, not every episode, but it's like a kind of common theme was like the sweet couple where like the husband has to make decisions, and then there's like, the people that are kind of outrageous. And then there's like someone that's like turning 30 or going into like,
Or it's like
like in their 30s. I noticed that. It's like a common theme.
Yeah.
That's actually true. There was the girl, I forget her name. It was a couple episodes ago. She was turning 30 and she was one that was helping her mom while her mom was sick. And she was like, I'm finally going to do something for myself.
Yeah.
Right.
I think it's beautiful. I think it goes a long way to say how much insecurities affect us, like what happens to us as a kid. And as we're speaking of what happens to us as we're a kid, that's gonna take me into McKenna. McKenna is the nose grader, and she had me literally at the story that when she was a kid she would get bullied, and she said that she would go home and listen to the answering machine, and it would be girls leaving a message telling her, "You're the ugly nose bitch," or sorry, big nose bitch. Kids are terrible.
They are.
The amount of bullying that goes on,
insane.
not just cyberbullying, but bullying as a kid. Like, why does a kid that young even have that much hate in them?
Well, also think back of like answering machines. That means that like her whole family could hear it if they, you know, anyone can listen to the answering machine. That's so cruel. So, I mean, I know that with like bullying and social media nowadays, it's even bigger.
Yeah,
and
bigger.
It's crazy. But still, I just found that so intimate because, I don't know. It's in any case, it's messed up. But somehow I feel as a kid, if someone insults me like on my phone or on social media, or like if they comment something mean, it's different because I'm like, my mom doesn't have to see it or my parents doesn't have to hear it.
Yeah.
I find that super cruel that you're like, wow, you get to witness like someone talking like that about your daughter. That's crazy.
And the crazy thing is, like, those girls had the time to do that, to call her and leave her voicemail. Like, they literally, I felt like they wasted
Like,
like
where are their
2-3 minutes
parents?
of their life.
That's bullying.
Where's your
That's, like, extreme
parents?
bullying.
Honestly, I
Exactly.
blame parents. I'm not saying that you're responsible for what your kid does, but I would be damned to have a child that I know does things like that. And I get it. Someone's going to say, you're not everywhere. When you're that young and you want to put someone else down, you're projecting. It stems from something at home. Either you see your parents are fighting or your parents are negative with you or harsh with you. So to be that young and to actually pick up a phone and leave a nasty message like that and even be able to use the B word.
Yeah.
Like, my niece and nephew, my sister would literally, like, they would never see the light of day. They'd literally go to school, come home, and, like, they'd be on, like, the chalkboard writing, I will never say that again. I will never say that again. It's, like, insane because, you know, you have someone like Phoebe who's like, oh, people on social media, they're saying that my nostrils are too big or that my nose is, you know, missing, like, a little chunk right here. And I'm not saying that Phoebe deserves it, but she does put herself out there. She is on social media. She is probably the way she is on TV saying, oh, I'm a celebrity, and, you know, so you're going to have people that come out and have an issue with that, and not that it's okay to be negative. You can have constructive criticism, but don't be negative.
Right.
But someone like McKenna, like, you're a little kid, and you go home and there's a voicemail, like, that's so sad.
Yeah. I mean, till this day, my mother won't let me use certain, like, curse words in the house or at all. She goes, why would you say that? It's disgusting when women talk like that. And I'm just like, okay. You know, well, like, okay, like, I
I
respect
have to
what she's
totally
saying, you know?
filter on my parents. Like, literally, I'll get, like, smacked right outside the head.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just the way kids, a lot of them are. I'm around kids all the
Hey,
time.
I have a
It's
question.
pretty bad.
Sure.
Tell us.
I have a question, guys. Not that it makes it any better, but I am wondering. So, like, as I said, I'm old as dirt. So, like, when we went to high school, we didn't even have cell phones, right? Like, we barely had pagers. So, my thing is, I don't know if it makes it right, but I'm wondering if these younger kids are kind of growing up into the condition of understanding all this social media hate and even maybe being taught by their parents, like, how to deal with it. Because, again, when I was going to high school, we barely had cell phones and we only had pagers, so it wasn't as harsh. I just wonder if the kids nowadays have a little bit more equipment to kind of handle the stuff you guys are saying that happened on the show.
I don't know if they can handle it or that they're seeing it more often and they're thinking it's socially acceptable now.
No, I feel like where people are talking about it all the time, about online bullying and about, unfortunately, like all these terrible things that happen and all this harassment. So I think it's definitely a discussion that wasn't really being had before.
Before it wasn't, yeah. I think in schools now too, a lot of bullying campaigns and stuff are going on, which is really good for kids.
Yeah.
I could be wrong. I feel like it's gotten worse over time. You see somebody like Rihanna, she's getting fat shamed left and right.
What?
Oh yeah.
Rihanna?
Rihanna.
She is recently, and you
great.
know what I think is empowering about that, like on her end, is she's kind of owning it and saying, "I don't give a damn."
Oh, she responded.
Yeah, in fact,
she responds to the haters.
Yeah, she looks better, you know, and she's like, "Hey, I gained weight. Boom, I'm still Rihanna."
First of all, she's Rihanna. She's an incredible performer.
Yeah.
She's stunning. She's gorgeous. She's a fashion icon. Oh my God, she packed on 10 pounds. She's getting older. Metabolism slows down as you get older.
Yeah.
I feel like she's not maybe performing as much too, and when you're performing, you're always doing routines and you're burning so many calories dancing. She actually responded to the fat shamers. That's so mean. That's not her. People are terrible.
No, that's
People will say things about everyone, though.
Listen to what
Like,
she did.
they'll say things about anything, I feel like.
She went to Twitter and put up a meme of Gucci Man, okay? And it's a picture of Gucci Man, and he has all these chains on without a shirt on. He's like overweight, and she's like, if you don't love me at Gucci Man, and then she said like 2005, you don't deserve me at Gucci Man 2016, and Gucci Man has like a ripped six pack. So she's kind of like, if you don't love me for me, like, bye.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But yeah, she's getting fat shamed. Like, that's terrible. She doesn't deserve that. Someone could say, like, yeah, you're in the limelight. What I meant about Phoebe, because I want to clarify, I did say that earlier, is not that she deserves it, but there is a difference. When you put yourself out there, people feel entitled to say whatever they want, which is still not okay.
Yeah.
Where McKenna's just a little girl that just comes home from school and someone's like, oh, your nose looks terrible. Like, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Right. And a lot, again, you know, it's all about society these days too. Like, look how society was about in the early 2000s. It was just very different how it is today.
I agree.
So
anyways, I started off the tangent, but we went on a total tangent off of McKenna, was what we were supposed to talk about. So as we said, the kids left a voice message on the phone for her. She was always getting bullied. She was avoiding going to dances and being in photos. She got a nose job for 15 minutes. She went back in because there was complications, and I believe what she said was that they kind of scraped down the bone on her nose that had like popped out.
Yeah.
And then they basically glued it back together. I don't know what she meant by glued, but basically they did like a shave and glue. And then from there, she has not gotten a nose job since, and the doctor obviously corrected it. And he did so by actually taking out a piece of her rib and putting on her nose. And something I wanted to ask you girls is, I felt like in the consultation after the fact, he was telling her that he took out the rib. Isn't that something you think he would have to ask before the surgery?
Yeah, because he was like, because I don't think he thought that he needed to do that when he went into surgery. But then there was kind of like a weird thing that happened.
So he can just go in, like, is there, like, you sign paperwork saying, I sign my life over, he can take something out of my toes? Like, I don't get it.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never been into a plastic surgeon before, so I wouldn't know what their rules and regulations are.
But speaking to the point that you were talking about how they fixed her nose, like it was just they graded it. It was like cheese. Oh my gosh, it was so
like she
lame.
said, the doctor numbed her nose and then used obviously a doctor knife and shaved it down.
But he cut it from the outside too, right?
Right.
I thought it would, on
Whenever
this
they're
side.
in a consultation and then the actual, first of all, what she's saying is making me cringe, but then the doctors cringe, it makes you cringe even twice harder, because like, oh wow, this grosses me out, but they're freaking out, like this is way, way beyond wrong. It was, one of those moments. Did you guys feel like that too?
Dude, when I get my nails done and it doesn't even hurt, when they do the filing, I always go like, I feel like it's nails on the board. Imagine someone's filing down your bone on your nose.
She was awake. She was awake when they did that. That's insane. That's what she was saying. She's like, I could hear it. Can you imagine?
That's horrible.
I'm
Sounds
cringing
like
thinking of
it's
it.
traumatizing.
And then
Oh, yeah.
what did they glue? Like, what does that mean? Did they take
Her
like a
skin
glue
back.
gun and like...
Her skin. Yeah, they have like surgical
Glue?
Yeah.
This poor girl, McKenna,
Yeah.
my heart goes out to you from
Yeah.
dealing with bullying your whole life. And then you, at 19, think you're going to solve the problem. And it goes from that to, kind of like the pointy nose. And it had like been filed down so much that Dr. Nassif said, he's like, if I didn't pull out your rib, your nose would have caved in. That's insane. How do these people have medical licenses?
They shouldn't.
Yeah.
And I wonder if they get reported after the fact, like if McKenna or Kaylin actually went back and reported the doctors because they shouldn't have their license.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what I would assume, that they would honestly go and get their license revoked, or if anything, if people are listening to the show, even you never know who could listen to the show, like lawyers and everything, and they're like, okay, who are these people? You know how some people are like that. They're like, they want to track down who's the person who messed up their face or whatever. You know, that's a big lawsuit.
Yeah, because it's not only it happened to you, it's going to happen to the next person or the next person, and young teenagers are going to get taken advantage of that want plastic surgery. It's sad.
Yeah, it's terrible. But I think her nose looked amazing at her reveal. It was her 30th birthday. She was surrounded by her girlfriends.
And cupcakes.
And cupcakes.
Oh my god, those look so good.
Which we were all saying that cupcakes is totally better than birthday cake. Yes. I do like confetti cake, though. I'm not going to lie.
So good. I'm
a sucker for confetti cake.
I like sprinkles cupcakes.
I love sprinkles.
Oh
my birthday's
gosh,
this Saturday,
really?
and I can't wait to get some.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I don't like bougie cupcakes. I like literally that when you go to Vaughn's, they have like that little plastic thing of like the confetti cupcake.
I'm
It's like
blonde my ears.
$1.99 and it is the best cake
It's
ever.
so
Like those
gross.
cookies, like those soft
ew.
cookies that they have it like for each occasion.
It's not gross, it's so good.
Like, yeah,
You know what I'm
I know
talking
you're
about, the soft cookies?
Yeah.
I don't like bougie cookies. Anyways,
I like the
back
box
to
ones.
surgery.
So enough of the bougie cupcakes. So yeah, she looked amazing. It was her 30th birthday, and as Stacey was saying, it's amazing that we always have these reveals where the girls are kind of getting to like a certain age where they're doing something to like make themselves feel better, and you know, insecurities just they haunt you.
They do.
Yeah.
They really do. What happens to you in your childhood?
It stays
And your
with
insecurities
you.
haunt you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it stays with you. The things
does.
people have said about you, you're gonna think those voices are still there. You know, so sad.
If only people knew the power of their words.
Okay, so I teach and I tell my students that all the time. I'm like, this kid is going to remember that when they are 30 years old. So stop saying that. And I tell them all the time because it stays with you.
And
It's
when
so
you
sad.
think about it, like there's times that I think about what stuff that happened to me when I was a kid. It brings you to tears as if it happened like yesterday.
Yeah.
And I guess that's a part of like healing, but do you ever really heal?
I don't know. Well, that's what I always wonder when we see these characters going through all this plastic surgery to fix any kind of insecurity they have. Is like, do you really ever heal? Is that memory gonna be gone? Even though now she has this beautiful nose and she does seem very confident, but is that always gonna be in the back of her head that a lot of her life was just with this bad nose and there's so much suffering there? I don't really know. I don't have an answer for that.
I liked her dress though; it was pretty.
Even, you know, as we talked about earlier with Kaylin, as she said, she's like, now I can be a better wife and a better mother. Like, that's so sad because it's the truth. You really can't give love or be good to others until you love yourself.
Yeah.
And when you have all these insecurities, it's so hard because, listen, everybody has insecurities. Anyone that says they're not insecure is lying,
Yeah.
but to all different degrees. But as we see on this show, there's people with such extreme issues. Like, I can't imagine what it would be like to either have something wrong with my nose. Like, that's this focal point of your face.
Right.
And it's not just having a bump on your nose. Like, these are botched procedures, and these doctors are doing such an incredible job, like, helping these people. And it's funny because they always give you like a quote or like they give you a range. They're like, only expect like 70% results, but then we see the reveals. They look incredible.
Yeah.
You just
After
give
like 2
them
to
a
3
second
weeks.
chance, at life in a way, because appearance aren't everything, but they are a lot, honestly. When you deal with a day-to-day insecurity like that really just can't go to the beach, like this one mother, like that's so sad. So it's really, really empowering to see these women and these men just get back out there and they just feel brand new.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm excited for next week's episode because there was somebody with some kind of like hip action where something popped. So it's something different than what we've been seeing. I've seen way too many noses and way too many boobs.
Yes.
I'm ready to see something different. So I'm definitely excited for next week's episode, which is gonna be season 4, episode 9. And before we go ahead and tune out, I'm gonna have my beautiful co-host let you know where you can find them on social media.
Hi guys, you can find me at Stacey Olivias all over social media.
Hi guys, you can find me on Instagram at Bonjour Juliet.
And you can find me at Anissa Barr.
And I'm Lina Noory. You can find me all over social media now at Lina Noory. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Remember to go buy some duct tape because it's a free lift. Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.